Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. It's been a long time since I have jumped on here and gone live. So good to see everybody. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the new system and creating the new system, what the new system is, and what's happening because it's a pretty exciting time right now. So to start with, I was getting messages probably back in November, December, letting us know that we are heading into something come maybe mid to late February, early March, that there's going to be, they just kept calling it system changes. So it's like, okay. So I discovered about that when I was asked to create things. So I was asked to create a psychic surgery course. I was asked to create a what's called a Wasamali etheric school of healing. And when I would put these pieces together and start creating them out, I wouldn't get the green light on going and activating and putting them forward to the collective until they would say, "After the new system." And so I was like, "What is this new system and when is it coming?" Because there's things I can't do right now until you give me the green light to do it. So that's where I got the time frame and, what's gonna happen because I was working doing these pieces. So fast forward, we are now, had the Chinese New Year. We've also had the piece around, um the new moon. So we know everything that is created upon a new moon. It has that momentum and the drive and the energy behind it. So, anyways, I started with a Saturday channeling class. So the Saturday channeling class came in and we went on an adventure. We went on adventure into the center of like the core of the inner earth. It was very crystal filled. It was blue crystals, massive, big, huge crystals. And we found this from a picture on Instagram. So we're watching this picture on Instagram. We're going on this journey. I'm guiding it. I'm watching what's happening. We have this massive activation of this gem in the center. We're all standing, we're holding our hands around this gem activated beam of light. We were pulling the energy in through our bodies. And then we go on to do a few more things. It's not until after we exited that I debrief with the rest of the members, and they say, Natalie, we weren't awake. We were put to sleep during that time. So that's when I started getting a message to channel. So the way I channel is I write, I type it out, the stuff that's coming in, I just type out what is happening. So I type it out and, it's where they start talking, I channel in the stratosphere beings. Now, the stratosphere beings are the guardian hosts. They come in, they're from all over the place, and they're all part of forming a consciousness collectively to usher in the new system and make sure everybody is aligned, make sure it's good for everybody that's in our cosmic space. So I get this message from them. They're telling me why they put people to sleep, how they're moving people's DNA, what the new system is going to be about, like why they need a new system, and they start talking about this adversary race, and I'm like, what is this adversary race that they're talking about? So I'm like, can you show me what this adversary race looks like? And they're like, no comment. So I'm like, okay, some things you just have to stay in your own lane about. So I'm like, okay. So I um am talking about this adversary race. Why do we need to have a race that's in conflict with us coming into our center core hub of our inner earth? Why, like, that doesn't sound helpful to me. And they're like, well, you don't need to look at things so polarized. It's not necessarily good or bad. It's the strengths and characteristics of this particular race. And this particular race that wants to come in is necessary. They need to come in because the strengths that they have will help stabilize the core of your inner earth. And I'm like, well, why do we need that? And so when I was waking up this morning, I realized it's because of all the earthquakes. We are having an adversary race come and do work in that inner core piece of our inner earth because it will stabilize our earth. We can't build out a new system if we're continually having blips throughout. So yeah, they just kind of smiled at me when I put the two and two together. I was like, uh-huh, I got it now. I figured it out. It also talked about distortion. So there's a lot of distortion coming in because the adversary race is trying to access Earth. They know that they need to come in. That it's just about when. When can they access us and what? Um, yeah, how can they access us? So through the night last night I kept seeing them trying to come in, um, and they are close to getting that permission to coming in, and they need to access through this beam of blue light that was activated. So it's just waiting for the alignments, but while we're waiting for those alignments to happen, we're getting a lot of distortion. And so distortion, when I talk about distortion, it is more around, it's literally static. It feels a lot like when you're listening to one radio station and another one tries to come in, that's the feeling that you get. And then you start realizing the comment that you just made is part of the other channel. And this is the one that's of light and the main channel and the music that you like, but yet this other channel is trying to impede and like come in. So an example of that was I was talking about, going to a tree and finding a little door in the tree and opening up the little door and having little like beings come out. And then suddenly it turned to a wall. And I'm talking about opening this wall and this door in the wall. And I was like, wait, whoa, wait, that's not right. Um, and that was distortion. And so I'm like, hey, we're getting like these two impeding channels trying to come through when really there should only be the main music that we know, trust, and like, the main source energy. Um, and so there's a couple times where distortion happens. There's a distortion that happens because you need to raise your frequency, and you need to, stay positive and have gratitude and be heart centered. And all of those things will help keep you aligned in that higher frequency. Then there's a second type of frequency, a second type of distortion that happens. And that is when we're getting close to big shifts or big changes. So when we're close to big changes and big shifts, we get distortion because we're about to move into something else. So we have everything has to be perfectly balanced. So if we're moving, this other side with counter pressure type side is also moving as well. So the entire system changes and shifts. So that's where we're at right now is we know our new system is in the brinks of being made. We are in charge of making it, and we have more light coming in to assist us. We have DNA shifts and changes to hold more light to assist us. So we also expect and know that there's a polarity balance that has to happen as we all move and shift. So that is happening right now where you can feel the distortion sometimes. So just use discernment. Not everybody is aware of distortion, so you will feel it. You will realize somebody's speaking, and then all of a sudden there's no energetic. Like the energy just feels off, and it's like, well, that's really weird. What happened? Um, there'll be part pieces of truth in there, so it'll be really hard to discern sometimes. Like, wait, they were talking this, and I was following, and it was all good, and then they said this one thing, and I was like, wait, something's off. So use your discernment, because just because you followed them for a long time, just because so and so likes them and recommended them, and they're really cool, like use your own discernment, use your own connection to source and filter things through your own heart space. And that means while you're listening to that individual speaking, you need to be checking. Don't just say, "Oh, I checked once and they were good for me." No. Every time you are listening to somebody, check, which is inclusive. I'm included in that. So check and make sure that the messages that are coming through are coming from a pure and clear place. Um, so that's they spoke a little bit in the channeled message about discernment and distortions coming through. So if you're wanting to see the channeled message, the written out content, I have it all listed in my Telegram channel. Sorry, my Telegram channel is. I will put it in the description for us so that you guys can have it. It's just natalienadine.com/telegram. and then that way you can like get over to the Telegram site. And that's where it's all listed out. The meditation from the Saturday night channeling class is in there. Um, so you can like go on your own journey, accompany us, as well as the audio. If you just want the audio meditation, it's in there as well. Um, so yeah, a lot has happened. There's also been in my own personal life, there's been 2 deaths in the past 3 months, so it's been a full with that. We've all, of course, just like got past Christmas and back to regular routines with everybody. We have a really cool retreat we're planning out where it's going to be in July, the last like the 20th of July or something, in Connecticut. So that's also an exciting addition because I don't do live events. I haven't been called to do any, but now we're in the new system. I'm able to get in and do some different types of access different types of things. So that's an exciting piece. On a personal level, we're also taking our kiddos to Florida for March break, so that'll also be good and well deserved family time. Our kids are super excited. We are also doing I mentioned it briefly, it's the Wasamali Etheric School of Healing. So that came about when I was given what was that called? The psychic healing course to do. So I did and created that course. It's up, it's running. And then don't just give people a course, mentor them, like be with them, hold their space for them, and let them come in and practice. So it's like, okay, so I created the healing space where people could come in, do different modalities, try different modalities, because we've been very pigeonholed in this space. We've been, I do Reiki and I do QHHT, or I do beyond quantum healing, or I do like, we have these modalities, but they're not flowing and they're not merging. So when I've had QHHT sessions, 2 different practitioners, 2 different experiences. I tend to like the experience where the person is with you on the journey with you. So that's what Wasamali is. It's a journey where you see what the person's doing. You connect with that other person's higher self and you go together. And for myself, I use my light language to access things, open things, bring in different beings, receive supports from the etheric side. So that's going to be part of Wasamali. Wasamali is a mixed modality where our higher selves come in and assist. Um, it's such a cool way of doing things because it incorporates all of the pieces. And so I've been waiting for being able to pull this in and put it together because I've known about it, but I wasn't given the green light about it until recently. So I have that class where there's I think 6 healers. They've done different modalities. They're merging those modalities and making it more fluid for a experience that is unique for the client to have. So that's been underway. We've probably had about 10 weeks of that. And now we're ready to start accepting clients for us to just work on and for clients to get that experience. So that is super, super exciting for us. So we'll do the Wasamali. And then once they are completed, their sort of like internship where we're working together and we're having clients come in and we're collaborating on it, then they're going to launch their own businesses and be certified in the Wasamali, like they've taken the Wasamali school. Um, um, yeah, training. So they will then open their own businesses and work that modality, the mixed modality, and have fluidity throughout the process of healing. So, um, yeah, keep your eyes out for that because that's coming. And I think that's really it for updates. The Wasamali School is big. That's like uh, a big piece to help the collective because we don't have anything that's out there at this point that I know of that um, is like a course as well as a hands-on training opportunity, and then, like, they're going into their own businesses. So, for people that are healers, if they want to try that, they can access the healing group. Um, and it's all part of that new system in helping our collective on a deeper level because we're accessing more and more of our DNA strands, and we have things that we can clear and things that we can find and things memories that we can have popping up. Uh, so yeah, I wanted to come on and give a brief overview of what I was seeing, what I've been feeling, why things are happening, what the new system is about. When people are asking me, like, when's the new system coming? And it's being built in stages and phases. So we know our monetary system's collapsing. We know we're trying to like band-aid it up. We know that there's like we're on the brink of some crazy conflicts all over the world. We know we have earthquakes and floods. We know everyone's sort of sitting back like, when's the big flash coming? And it's like there's no big flash. Have you looked around? We're incrementally having that taking place. But because that is taking place, we also have this amazing light system that is being supportive of everything and coming in. So that's why we have this inner earth piece. Another misconception that I see that's happening is if you don't do the work, you'll be left behind. So it's like, ah, and I don't see it as black and white as that. I see it as everybody's doing their work. Even the plants and animals are doing their work. They're all getting upgrades. And so we see that as well as incrementally. And so that might be somebody's on the path to wherever they're going and they're walking. Somebody might be taking a car, somebody might be taking a bus, somebody might be taking a train or a plane or like some other sort of jet. But we're all going, we're all shifting. And it's not necessarily that people are being left behind if they don't do the work. It's that they're doing the work in their own way. So my partner, he doesn't come to me and is like, "Yeah, what meditation are you looking and listening to?" He's more of a like, "I drive to work and I no longer need to listen to the radio. I just drive in complete quiet." And I'm like, "Well, what are you doing when you're like driving in complete silence?" He's like, "I'm thinking." And I'm like, "Oh, you're checking in with your higher self and you're reflecting on your day and what's to come." I'm like, "That's a form of meditation." Okay. I don't need to tell him that, but it's everybody is shifting and changing and moving through things. We're noticing that we're being put to sleep so that they can access our DNA structures and hold more energetic charge through them. So we're noticing these types of things and it's not about, okay, this is the new earth and this is the old earth and you're getting left behind. Come on and get on the program. We're leaps and bounds ahead of you. No, it's everything is shifting and moving. Some of those lower densities that we're seeing, some of those like world events that are happening because of polarity. We need some of these things to bring in more light, and we all move as the system just begins to change and shift. Um, so that's kind of my perspective and how I've seen it. Um, I even when I encounter dark things, like, in the 5D, those dark things still oftentimes when I go near them turn to light or have a light version of themselves. There's been different beings that I've communicated with that people would say, "Oh, those are negatively polarized. Oh, don't go near those." And I'm like, that's because you've already judged it and placed it in that box. But if you go up from a place of neutrality, oftentimes it's not what you thought it was. It's completely different. I would say also seek to understand. Ask lots of questions. I'm forever saying that in my classes. Have you asked? Did you ask that question? People say, Natalie, I don't get the messages as clear as what you get them. You get them so clear. And I'm like, I don't get necessarily people speaking in my ear all day. I ask a lot of questions. And the reason I ask a lot of questions, because I didn't at first, it's not my nature to ask a lot of questions, but I have a really dear friend who I share a lot of this stuff with, and he asks me a lot of questions. And so, in order for me to give him all the information, when I'm in my visions, I ask a lot of questions because I know I'm gonna give it to him and he's gonna ask me. So, um, I ask a lot of why. Why is that happening? When is that happening? What is this for? I have this gem. Where am I putting it? I used to just have a gem and go put it wherever I was guided to put it and have no questions about like why am I putting it here? Um, yeah, it's slowly evolved over time, but just we are in charge of bringing in more light, holding more light in our body, and creating the new system. And so, the reason we have to create a new system is because the polarized of the darker, denser stuff is here and it's growing. So we are now able to access more things to counterbalance it. So same thing happens in reverse. As we gain more light and we grow and grow and grow, the other side, as we developed out our new system, we're getting distortion because the other side's balancing out. So it's not bad, it's just balanced. And so we just have to view it more of this neutrality place and know that it's all balanced and it's all good. Um, so yeah, hopefully that helps answer some questions about like what's happening. Um, yeah, I put those channeled messages into my Telegram. I would speak about them as I'm getting them, but it just comes out as light language. And then I end up having to switch it back to English. And so it's like it comes in as English, it comes out as light language, and then I have to flip it. So it's just a lot of like it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. So I just type them, which is much easier. So if you guys have questions about the new system, about the energy, about the healing Wasamali method, let me know. I am on Instagram almost every day hanging around. Um, you can email me as well. It's info@natalienadine.com. I'm still doing individual sessions for people who are like wanting to find their past lives, wanting to know what their purpose and their mission is as they move into this new system. Because a lot of people have been having messages about, oh, I'm supposed to do this. I've been waiting. I know I'm supposed to be doing this, but I don't have the next steps. You will now. Now we're in the new system. You will have the next steps as to what you're supposed to be doing. So some people are coming in just to have those validated and like confirmed for them, which is beautiful to see. Yeah, there's a lot of dragon activity right now, tons and tons of dragon activity. If you have not seen your dragon and you have not met your dragon, there is a meditation, dragon meditation floating around here. Look on my Spotify. Yeah, look at my podcast because there will be a dragon meditation out in that where people have met their dragons. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. But I will try to get in and do more lives for everybody so that you're like in the know and caught up. Um, I also go in to see Hutch's channel. It's the Ascension 2024. Um, and so I've met lots of their lovely members. They've been super warm and welcoming. Telegram was not a place where I thought, I want to come hang out because I mean, who needs more social media platforms? I feel like I'm already on dabbling in most of them. But it's been a really beautiful place to put my writings. I also write and paste them into my Substack as well for members of my Substack. Um, it's super easy to do Substack. So, but it's harder to share content around. So that's pretty much it for the updates. Let me know what you guys think, how you've been feeling. One more thing. The people that are having lower back pain, the lower back pain is because of the electric magnetic field around Gaia right now. So as distortion tries to come in, the electric magnetic field is fluctuating. As the solar flares come in, we start purging. All of this creates a tightness in the lower back of us. For people that are wanting to shift that, you shift it by doing collective purging, getting rid of the collective stuff. Because if you think of it, the sun flares are coming, the energy around the earth is being hit, taking a hit. We are connected to that energy and we feel it in our bodies. When something is happening, it's our bodies give us a clue. So in order for the um, pain to just move through, you just ask the collective what they need, help them pull that energy through their systems. Because as they're purging, like past life memories, as they're purging experiences that have been negative, or maybe they've even been positive, just an abundant amount of them. They need to clear it through. So just go in and use your hands and pull up a chunk of the collective and use your hands to like clear it and give them positive energies so that you'll see the off gassing of it as it comes through their systems. So the more we can do that, the less pain we will be in our lower backs. So hopefully that helps people out as well. Anyways, guys, take care and be sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks.